All right, no music. We're getting straight to this. This loss sucked. This loss stinks. I'm angry. I'm pissed. I mean, we had this game in hand with 20 what? We had 26 seconds to go. 28. We had 28 seconds to go, and we can't close this thing out. We cannot close this thing out. Instead, what we had to watch is what we did to the Sixers in game 2 and take their hearts. That's what the Sixers did to us today. I thought this game was going to be over with a Deuce McBride mid-range jumper. We were up 6, ladies and gentlemen. But then what decides to happen? Tyrese Maxey decides to continue his hot shooting streak, gets fouled by Mitchell Robinson, hits the 4-point play. Josh Hart misses a free throw. And then what happens after he misses the free throw? Maxey decides to heave it from half court and takes us into overtime. And when you think Jalen Brunson, and look, for as brilliant as Jalen Brunson was, he had some critical, boneheaded decision-making down the stretch in overtime. And then you just cost it and give it the game away for the Sixers to take game 5, where we should have closed this game out. It should have been, the series should have been over, should have been on break, resting for the next one. No, instead, we got to wait another 2 days on Thursday when we go back down I-95 to go to the Wells Fargo Arena to go watch this team play. I'm heated. This game, I am besides myself. I am not. Obviously, you can't be happy with how this game ended. This game is so aggravating, man. Shout out to Knicks Nation. Thank you all for tuning in for a KFTV Postgame Live. I'm your host, Alex Trataros, a.k.a. the Tratacaster. With me on the other side is my guy, JD Sports Talk. Look, people, calling through the Discord. I want to hear your takes right now. CP's on the way. He'll be joining us. And remember, this show is sponsored by Manscaped. Use that promo code KFTV to get up to a $100 match. And remember, we're also sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. I'm sorry. Whoa, man. This is how angry I am. I'm confusing the ad reads. Make sure to use the promo code KFTV to get 20% off and free shipping for Manscaped. Use that promo code KFTV to get up to a $100 match on your first deposit for Underdog Fantasy. The Knicks are just bothering me right now, JD. I am so aggravated by this loss. I can't even do the ad read right. I don't get it, man. I really don't get it. I just don't understand how things are just go sideways within the last 3 seconds. Why don't we even foul while Maxey's pushing the ball up the court after Josh Hart misses his free throw? It's a one possession game. All we got to do is foul him. Then Maxey only gets 2 shots. We get the ball back, and you get to a guy like Jalen Brunson, hopefully, and you can close this thing out. This is just baffling, man. From executing at the end of the fourth quarter, lack of fouling, even the jump pass by Brunson for 3 with Batum on him. I'm like, why are you doing that pass in Hartenstein? And then it's just a turnover. Boneheaded plays, man. Boneheaded plays. I'm besides myself. What are you thinking, JD? How are you feeling?
I don't know, man. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
Bro, I don't have words, man. It's I don't know. I don't know how I'm gonna sleep tonight. I can't believe what I saw. I can't believe that the game. I just can't believe, bro. We were on our way to closing out this game, this series. The thing I'm thinking right now is the McBride shot in the middle of the court, the mid-range shot, timeout, Knicks up. Like, that shot to me was the dagger. Like, that was it. Like, I'm already thinking, I'm thinking about the praise and the credit I'm going to give Deuce McBride, his development, how he has been a warrior, how he's now become a player that's closing games out. I'm thinking about Mitch's outstanding defense for about most of his minutes except a couple of possessions. I'm thinking about just the fight of the team, how we had a slow start and we somehow are able to survive, how this whole series we're just not starting quarters well. Like, there was so much, I was getting ready to say, man, this was probably the toughest 5-game series that I've been a fan of and that I've probably watched of any other series as a sports fan. Because my God, was like this such a difficult game. And then I don't know what happened. Like, I don't understand why we're playing drop coverage at half court. I don't. How is it that we're allowing Tyrese Maxey to get a pick way past the 3-point line? And we know they need a 3, and we somehow say, you know what? Hey, step right into it. You want a comfortable look? Like, go ahead. Doesn't matter that it's from the concession stands. It doesn't matter where it's from. Hey, that's a long 3. Take it. I mean, did we not see Josh Hart hit a half-court shot? Do we not see, how this Lakers-Nuggets series is going? Do we not see how it's just in an era where there's no distance? That's not close. That's not far enough for these players today. And somehow, we're not prepared for that moment. And I don't know if it's because they were shocked, the human element of being shocked, where you just freeze a little bit and you resort to your basic fundamentals, your basic defensive scheme. I don't know if it's coaching, but we were not prepared to defend certain possessions. And that was one of them. The foul, not understanding, like, you don't need to jump there. Let them shoot the 3. Not trapping Maxey on a pick. Who cares if Maxey gets the pass to Embiid in the middle of the court? That's a 2-pointer. We're not giving up 3s. We're not giving up 3s, guys. But somehow we're still playing that drop coverage. We had 2 timeouts. They had no timeouts. You can make the case, play the foul game there. Tibbs doesn't really like to do that. It's funny because I'm not necessarily mad at allowing the play to happen. That's fine. But can we play a better defensive call than drop coverage? Can we maybe go small with Precious so that we can switch? Like, can we have a better game plan to the game plan that you decide to do? So I'm okay with playing straight up as long as we have the right play call on defense. But if you're in the crowd of they should have fouled, if you're in that crowd, play the foul game. The Knicks had 2 timeouts. Sixers had 0. You could foul there, even if they make 2 free throws. You kill some seconds. You hit, you play the free throw game. They can't advance the ball. That's also a solution. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm more of the play it straight up. I'm that type of guy. Compete, play straight up, but don't play drop coverage. When they set the pick, either switch or blitz it. Don't just let them get the 2 points. Who cares?
To me, JD, like, I would have rather gone with the foul because of what you just said. They didn't have any timeouts. Knicks had 2. Maxey's just been on a heater. You know who they're going to try to get to. Embiid has been stinking up this game. And Maxey, for even with all of his scoring, he's been finding his teammates left and right. The last thing I want to do is to give him any wiggle room just to create more opportunities for this team, which is essentially what he did in the half. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm just like, for me, I'm in that camp of saying you fouled just because this game has been so tight. You were down in the first quarter. It's been a battle every single quarter. Every time you think you're gaining a foot, it's really an inch. The Sixers are battling all the way through up until the very end. And for me, it's just like you got to use everything in your tool belt when it gets down to the last 26 seconds, even after McBride makes that jumper. We did it to them. It doesn't, we're not, what was it? We're not shielded from the fact that they couldn't do it to us. And that's what they did. They did that exact same thing to us. So I'm just like, in those moments, you just got to take advantage of everything you got, man. And I feel like fouling at that critical juncture, or you could go back to even further. You could say, hey, Josh Hart, hit your free throws. But this team has been doing this the entire season. You got to know who you got. Even your top guy, Jalen Brunson, has been missing free throws during the regular season. And it's just, I just feel like when it came down to that moment, just foul, call it a day, let Maxey get his 2 free throws. You inbound the ball, get it to your best free throw shooter, which Brunson in this case, and just give yourself a chance. And then, like you said, they can't advance the ball. That's all it is. But now we got to go back to Philadelphia. Now we got to go extend the series even more. And, you know, the thing about that gets murky is, are they now charged up? Do they have a battery pack now saying, oh, the window, instead of it being closed, it just opened just a little bit more? Saying, all right, guys, if we could do this now, can we get another game? Can we push this thing back to Madison Square Garden and then have this repeat performance? Because Maxey's been on one, man. He is tough to stop. He is tough. And I just feel like when you have an Embiid game like this, where he is just shooting horribly, he was horrific tonight. You got to take advantage of this, man. There's not many opportunities where you have Embiid, who looked like he was ready to get on a boat, who was ready to get on a plane and go on vacation. I mean, even his free throw shooting, it was just like he didn't care tonight. And so I don't know, man. I'm besides myself. I get it. And it's too much, man. I'm so livid from this performance.
But here's also why Mitch not understanding that moment and the play call, because you don't know if the play call or if it was Mitch. Because even if you say they should have fouled, I guess you're trying to say you should have fouled from the moment they inbounded. Because if you look at that play, like Maxey barely gave anyone a chance to. Like the dude literally crossed half court, one step, got the pick, and he pulled up. So like you actually you'll take that shot from a distance standpoint, but not in the way that it happened. Because although he shot from 80, it was an open look for him. Like there was nothing in his eyesight that distracted his look at the rim. And he went so fast. And again, it's not like, he allowed the play. It's not they didn't run a play. Like the way that happened, it was just Maxey saying, yo, I'm going cross half court and I'm pulling up. So they may have not even had the chance to. But then again, you should know the situation. Look at the way the Sixers in overtime went to defend Brunson in terms of, making sure they had a second guy crowding his space, making it more difficult. And I don't know. Listen, man, this is heartbreaking. I don't know about you, Alex, but this might be the toughest loss in my fanhood. This might be the toughest loss because, I'm a Yankees fan. I think Red Sox. I think like all these heartbreaking moments. This was tough, bro, because what's developing is the Knicks have a Tyrese Maxey problem. Because the guy it's like McBride. More talented McBride. McBride is playing like, what are you guys saying playoffs? Is this really supposed to be pressure? Is that what you guys were saying, that the playoffs is another level and I'm gonna play scared and the moment's gonna be too much for me? McBride in his role is outplaying that environment, that atmosphere, those expectations. Tyrese Maxey in his role is doing the same. These are two young kids that the moment has not at all intimidated them. And as you can see with how well he's playing against the Sixers, that's tough to game plan against. As you can see with how well Maxey's playing against the Knicks, that's tough to game plan against. Because from wherever these guys are shooting, they don't feel that any shot is a pressure shot. And so that is a concern when you look at game 6. Going at home. Let's see now how the crowd, what type of crowd they have in terms of percentages against the Knicks. Are the Knicks faithful going to recharge up again and go out there and represent? There's already a lot of things I'm seeing about the Sixers owner may purchase tickets and do this. There's a lot of things already floating in the air about game 6. But I will say this. And it's tough to say right now. This team is going to be ready, man. They're going to be ready. Again, the character traits that this team has, tough, grit, hustling, that's not going to go away because of this loss. Guys, let's take a moment and pay attention to how this game was lost. The things that they did are not going to go away in game 6. But the things that they have to improve is, can we stop making dumb mistakes? Josh Hart, I've been saying it, with these like dumb passes sometimes. I don't get it. Like he has like a couple a game. Like it's frustrating because you don't want to go overboard because these are the same players that got you to 3-1. But Josh Hart, come on with the passing sometimes. Jalen Brunson, you're everything to us. But you saw there in overtime, he made the adjustment, and I can't even call it an adjustment anymore because he reverted back early in the game to the Brunson of game 1 and game 2, where he was juking and taking the pick and coming back and resetting it. And it's like Maxey is taking the first move and he's going. When Brunson was doing that, his possessions were more successful. In overtime, those 2 possessions, the one that he drove past Embiid, laid it up, the 3-point shot, it was on the first move. He got the pick, boom. He didn't get the pick, dribbled, pivot, dribbled, stopped, came back around. He went with the first move. And when he was hesitating, you're allowing these guys to reset against you. And I'm very surprised that he did that as much as he did tonight. I'm very surprised. The shot selection was questionable at certain points of the game. And like, we just need to execute better, bro.
That's all it comes down to, JD. It's executing better, and especially in the final stretch. That's why I tweeted out, man, is that, late game execution is what really killed us. And I was talking to Dave early on the Game of the Week preview. I said Knicks won game 2 because they executed. Tonight, they lost because they weren't able to. Whether it's miscommunication, lack of attention to detail, that's what they did. Now, like you, or I don't know if you're alluding to this, but I do believe that they'll get back and bounce back in game 6. This is a team that's tough mentally, that has come back and always corrected the ship, whether we saw that, prior when they lost to the Spurs and the Thunder, what do? They come back and they string off wins against the Bucks, the Celtics, the Bulls, and so forth, and the Nets that week, and they go on a good spree to end the season with 50 wins. I believe in that team showing up in game 6. But that doesn't change, and I see some people in the chat thinking that my anger right now is a hatred for this team. I don't hate this team. I love this team. And I do believe in this team that they will execute in game 6. But to say that this is not a frustrating loss, especially how it all unfolded with 28 seconds to go, I don't know how you can't be upset with this, because the game was right there for the taking. And at the end of the day, I just want to see my team win, move on to the next round, and that's all I care about, especially when they're in a position to win. But JD, to your point, like it just comes down to that, and it's like we've seen this in so many games this series. It's just the questionable shot selections from some of these guys, the shyness of just attacking the lane at points. Just the passing is just, it's all over the place. And I'm like, not necessarily all over the place, but it's just at critical inflection points throughout the game. It's understanding when you just got to settle down and take what the defense is giving you. for example, when I look at Jalen Brunson after he got a quick 5 points, they score, and then he just pulls up for a contested three. I'm like, that's not what we needed. Literally not what we needed was a contested three. You're so good at getting downhill and drawing contact. Get downhill, draw contact, get to the line, slow this thing down. Let's just create a lead.
Bro.
Or, it's just like Dante just pulling up from three where he has no space whatsoever. In the third quarter, he gets he's just chucking a three, and I'm like, dude, I get you're our three-point shooter, but that's not the threes you're constantly taking. Like, you're a little bit more set, and I get that they're not giving you space, but you got to figure out how to get a little bit more open. And if that's not a him problem, then that's a team problem, and it's his problem to say, how do we get our best shooter open so that way we can knock down threes? It's just questionable stuff, man. Just questionable stuff.
And I don't like the back to back to back. Listen, as you guys can see, close games in the playoffs becomes isolation basketball. It just does. It becomes a one-on-one, mano a mano, my guy versus your guy, and your guy the best player takes you home. Right? Like, there was no different in the way both offenses were operating. The only difference is that the Sixers at least were running something, and they were going a little bit quicker and earlier in the shot clock than the Knicks. The whole just taking like the shot clock all the way down, and then we're starting our action with like 6 seconds or like back-to-back possessions. Like, at some point, can we call a play? Can we call a number out? Like, can we try something just to get some movement going? And I felt we made it a little bit too easy for the Sixers there in critical points of the game. But listen, man, we just didn't come through, bro. Like, that's we at the end of the day, we were up with seconds left and we didn't finish the game. And I've been saying it, like, Brunson has he misses these free throws like that are just like, I mean, it's difficult. It's difficult because it's one of those heartbreaking games when you don't like. I don't want to go overboard with the technical analysis, right? Because at the end of the day, we're still up 3-2. This team got you here. But it's just frustrating. The fan in me is frustrating at just some of the plays, like the dumb plays. It's like, for a team of such high IQ players that we do have, like for us to be, Villanova and this and that, like, we do some of the dumbest things out there sometimes, bro. Like, some of these turnovers, the one play where we couldn't even inbound the ball, and it's a turnover. It's like some of the dumbest things. It's very, very frustrating, bro. And, when it happens as a fan, you're just like, all right, next play, guys, come on. But when you lose and you see how critical it is, you just think about, like, if we can just eliminate these things. And I'll tell you this, though. Game 6, listen, the Sixers gave you everything. On the positive end, Alex, we're conditioned to play this all the way out. I don't know if the Sixers are, other than Tyrese Maxey. Like, you saw Embiid out there. He was gassed.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the Sixers at the end, shots were short.
Yep.
So, like, if you're banking on a positive, is yes, game 6 is on the road. Yes, I get it. Heartbreaking, all that stuff. But I don't know how much they have left in the tank. Because, they were giving us the game. Even to start out, it was bricks upon bricks. We were just bricking more. But the Sixers, if you really look at it and you really want to nitpick, you could say the first quarter, the Sixers told us, here, the little bit left of heart that we have, here, Knicks, Take it. Take it. Because the way they started that game, they were basically going through the motions too. The problem is we came out like we didn't understand the opportunity that we had in front of us. We were very lackadaisical in that first quarter. And the Sixers were actually begging you to take the game. And even with all that, you had a chance to win. So if you wanna bank on that, bank on the fact that I don't know how much Embiid has left from a duration of the game. Mitch is back and he can defend Embiid, as you can see. And the Knicks have a Tyrese Maxey problem that they have to figure out for Game 6.
Salute to Knicks Nation. Thank you all for tuning in for another KFTV Postgame Live. I'm your host, Alex Trataros, a.k.a. the Tratacaster. With me on the other side is my guy, JD Sports Talk. Make sure to call in through the Discord. We are going to take your calls. But before we get to there, we got to do our ad read first. Salute to our sponsor, Manscaped. Everybody, let me tell you about Manscaped, all right? This episode is brought to you by the spring cleaning champions, Manscaped. This season, make sure to groom your carpets and the drapes with the leaders in below-the-waist grooming. Clear out that winter bush with Manscaped's Lawnmower 5.0 and watch your confidence bloom like the springtime flowers. Embrace the season and join the 10 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with our special offer. Go to manscaped.com and use promo code KFTV to get 20% off plus free shipping. Guys, look, the Lawnmower 5.0, we're all laced with all Manscaped products. It helps us out every single day, and I recommend that you go out as well and go purchase these wonderful products. Just no testimonials, all right? I wish Gamba would just, large in the say no testimonial signs underneath just so that way you guys can read it. You guys understand that? But no testimonials, but we do. But please make sure to support our sponsor, Manscaped. Once again, use that promo code KFTV to get 20% off plus free shipping. All right. So let's get to some calls, JD. I want to hear what everyone's got to say. So let's go to our first caller of the night, Machiavelli. Machiavelli, what's going on? Unmute your mic. I want to hear what you got to say about tonight's game. Machiavelli going once. Machiavelli going twice. Oh, man, you're not there. All right. We'll go to another call. Let's go to my guy, Dan from New Jersey. Dan from New Jersey, what's going on, bro? Unmute your mic. Let's hear what you got to say.
Hello, wah.
What's going on, bro? How you feeling right now?
JD, Alex, if I told you I wasn't devastated, I would be lying. But I did this last year after every loss in the playoffs, and I'll do it again. It's time to galvanize the troops. Tonight, man, you could point the finger at every player on the court down the line not named Deuce McBride for that breakdown. Josh Hart had a really reckless turnover and, missed the free throw. OG had a really bad turnover in which he passed it to Mitch when Mitch was kind of just waiting to get the offensive rebound on that possession. Should we put a shot up? Brunson played a hell of a game. Brunson always gives us everything, and I'll always give him credit for that. But tonight, man, in overtime, he got selfish. He didn't trust his teammates. And I think he knows that, and I think he's going to be better. Everybody, the Mitch foul, the 4-point play, heartbreaking, man. And you got to tip your cap to Maxey. That is a young superstar, and this was his coming out party. I really, really believe it. But let me tell you guys something, man. Every time this team has been hit in the mouth this season, they've responded. I'm looking for these guys to get up, and I'm looking for them to take Game 6 in Philly. I don't want this coming back to the Garden. I want to take their hearts on the road. So all I'm going to say is, man, we're up 3-2. It's never easy with these guys. It's never been easy. But I have faith that we're going to get this W. Let's go Knicks, baby.
Salute to Dan from New Jersey. And hey, I got confidence in the Knicks as well that they're going to go down. Look, man, like I said, this is a discouraging loss, a hurtful loss. Man, I see people posting a heartbreak of Melo getting blocked by Roy Hibbert as well when they're playing the Indiana Pacers in the second round. I mean, this game hurts, man. But I do believe that they'll bounce back. But, Dan did mention the turnovers, and Shout out to our producer Daniel. He does have the soundbite about the turnovers tonight. So Daniel, if we can go to that soundbite and just play it, let's hear it. Do we got the soundbite? No. All right, give Daniel 1 second so that way he can upload the soundbite. Again, it locked and loaded, so that way you can hear it. We got Brunson himself at the podium talking about the turnover and what he has to say. So, looking forward to what he has to think about his performance in this game. Pretty sure he's going to take responsibility and say he's got to be ready. All right, so it's ready. So Daniel, let's go to it and let's hear what Brunson has to say.
Emphasize how critical it is to play with good judgment in the closing minutes of games. How would you assess the final minute of overtime, rather than the final minute of regulation and overtime?
Not good judgment on my part. A careless turnover in overtime, and then just making sure we're all on the same page at the end of regulation. And but hats off to them that they kept fighting, played the full amount of 53 minutes, and so yeah, we just gotta come back.
Emphasize how critical it is.
And there you have it, Jalen Brunson. As I said, I just knew he would take responsibility for the turnover. JD, what are your thoughts about Brunson's comments about his turnover?
I mean, listen, it's great. The accountability is great. You know, I appreciate that. But you better make up for it. I mean, it is what it is. You got to make up for it because they're self-inflicted wounds, self-inflicted turnovers. Again, it's dumb turnovers. It's not like, it's like, for example, the Batum one. Batum is 6'9" with a 7-foot wingspan. And you know why he took that shot? Because he's had this tendency sometimes where, you know, we're up, we can tie the game, and he wants to go for the home run shot a lot of times. There's many moments where, you know, we could be up 5, and he'll go for a home run shot or a home run look. And he does that little, he comes across, he looks at you, and then he does a little LeBron step back, you know, kind of, 3-point shot, that little hezzy step, and then he goes up for it. And every time he does it, he's going up to shoot it. And he got caught up because being that you're in overtime now, the thing about him and players is when you're gassed or when you're tired, those same pivot moves, those jab steps, they're not as crisp. They don't have the same reaction because the defender's just as tired. So while you're killing yourself trying to cross someone up or jab them to death, they're not falling for it as easy as when they're as sharp as you are. So he made a bad read in that moment on that play. And I think it's because, again, when he's dominating the ball and he gets frustrated because he's resetting and he's going back, I think in the easy shot, when guards are feeling a little bit frustrated, the easy out is always to pull up, right? It's always to shoot the 3 because you don't have to work as hard. Just go up, boom, pull it up. And I think at moment he was a little bit frustrated there, and he wanted to hit the home run play. And Batum read him exactly as he was going up. And because he's taller, Brunson was afraid that he was going to get a block shot. So he made the pass to Hartenstein. Hartenstein, there's nothing Hartenstein can do. There's no way. Brunson never does things like that. So Hartenstein's obviously, he's going to go for the offensive rebound. He made Hartenstein made the right read because he's gonna attack the glass. Brunson did not make the right read there, and therefore you have that turnover. And again, I think with Brunson, when he has these key turnovers at key moments or these key bad shots, it's because the hesitation. It's because he thinks he thinks a little bit too much instead of just going. Just go. Every time you just go, good things happen.
Just like he did in game 4 in Philadelphia. He was just going and not thinking, man. He was just reacting to what the defense was offering him. Well, let's get back to the lines, man. Let's get to Eden. Eden, if you can unmute your mic, what's going on? How are you feeling today?
Hello. Alex, JD, the amount of yelling I just did and the amount of people calling my phone talking about Tyrese Maxey this, Tyrese Maxey that, I immediately hang up the phone. This game, it wasn't it was a struggle. But the thing about Brunson, man, just JD just spoke about with the Brunson shot. I'm not gonna lie, Brunson does that a lot all the time because I remember in the Miami game, I think down in I think when he was down 3-2 and he made that horrible turnover. I think I don't know what game that was, but yeah, I think it was in the Miami series where he made that turnover. JD is right. JD, you're right. Brunson makes a lot of he does a lot of thinking, which is I don't blame Brunson for that because I'll be doing the same thing as well. He cares about the defense too much, which is okay. Like I said about the other day, I need DiVincenzo to heat up, and I'm thinking he's about to go off he didn't play that much minutes, but I'm thinking he's about to go off. He didn't go off. Then careless turnovers and stuff like that. It just came out the window. Philly gave us the opportunity to win this game. We just threw that out the window. We was up 6 with 20 seconds left. There's really no excuse. There's really nothing. So we just got to pick it up games. We just got to pick that up game 6 and go to Wells Fargo Center and just smack the 76ers right back so we can advance to the second round.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Appreciate the call, Eden. Look, I agree. We just got to go down to Philadelphia, handle business, go back home, and they get a little bit of rest before the next round. But he did pick up on Dante, JD, and Dante has certainly been struggling since, hitting that crucial shot in game 2, man. He has just been what feels like MIA. I mean, there's many points in the last couple of games where I'm just asking for McBride to enter the game because at least McBride is giving you defense, solid defense on Maxey. And on top of that, he's knocking down threes as well and helping space the floor. Do you think that, look, Dante played what? What did he play tonight? He played 26 minutes. McBride played 33. Do you think Tibbs should even give McBride even more minutes? And granted, this is including overtime. I get that. But do you think McBride should get more minutes over Dante at this point? Or do you think Tibbs still has to trust Dante and see if he can give him some big shots? Because, look, in all fairness, in last game, he hit 2 critical threes in the third quarter. And then tonight, he hits a big shot. But, it just feels like, man, he's just been so up and down since game 2. It's tough to watch because he's not doing a great job on Maxey. He's trying. I'm not saying he's not, but the 3-point shooting, which we need from him, it just hasn't been there. What do you think?
If you want me to be honest.
Oh, boy. Well, that's why I ask you, Jay. I don't want to ask you not to not
No,
be. Come on.
I'm just saying, if you want me to keep it a buck, I mean, Brunson's going to have to bring it home for us. Like, he has to. Like, it's the same way. Like, think about the Sixers fan tonight. What are they saying? Maxey's going to have to do it again in game 6. If we want to get it in game 7, Maxey's going to have to do it again. Like, in the end, it's going to fall on the best player. But, boy, where is he? Like, we need a... Do I need to file a missings report with the NYPD? Bro, listen. It's so difficult because everybody on this team is likable. I love this team. It's so difficult to come here, like I said, and be critical in a loss because, like, DiVincenzo in Philly is missing again in the first half, and then he comes in the third quarter and hits 2 huge threes in that game. He hits the game winner in game 2. So these guys still have the ability to give you a nice stretch, a big moment, a great hustle play. And that's the thing with Dante that hasn't gone away, is he's still hustling. He had a beautiful block on Tyrese Maxey on a drive. So that's great, and I love it. But I need more. That's the thing about the playoffs. You see, in the regular season, you appreciate that. But you know what's the difference, guys, between those efforts in the regular season and those same efforts in the playoffs? Is that in the playoffs, sometimes those efforts are just quite not good enough. And you need a little bit more. McBride has elevated and has given you a little bit more. You know what's so crazy about the way McBride's playing is that there was a lot of times in the regular season when McBride was actually hesitating to shoot a mid-range shot, to drive and hit left-handed layups. McBride is doing that in the playoffs. Are you serious? And so with Dante, bro, tonight, you go 1 for 7 from 3. What's up with that?
Bro, you can't be going 1 of 7 from 3.
You can't be the starting shooting guard of any NBA team in the NBA and go 3 for 10, shoot 1 for 7 from 3. He's struggling mightily. And Tibbs is going to have to make an adjustment now in game 6 and potentially bring McBride earlier in the quarter if things are not going well.
Yeah,
But
man. I mean, that's
at the same time, though, is the rotation is only 7 deep right now. So it's like, there's not that many, there's not much more you can do. Like, you got to still find a way to give people their minutes. It's only 7 people playing. And that could be another discussion about should Precious have played tonight. But in terms of this question about Dante, he has to step up next game, man. Because he's not going to get benched, I don't think. Maybe if it goes 7. But I don't think Tibbs is going to do that. So you have to play better, bro. He's been MIA. Been MIA. Come on. He has to step back. He has to step up and definitely come back and play better.
That's a fact, man. That's a fact. We're going to go to Mr. A, though, on the Discord. Mr. A, if you're there right now, what's going on? Unmute your mic. How are you feeling about tonight's game?
Yo, what's up, fellas? I'm tight. I'm tight. I had to call in tonight.
Tell us why you're mad, man. Tell us why you're mad.
I can't believe what I just witnessed. The way we feel right now as Knicks fans is what Philly felt in game 2, and I did not think that was humanly possible. We feel like there's so many things that we could talk about. I'm going to skip to just straight execution, poor execution all game long. But the elephant in the room, the reason why I'm calling, I'm so disappointed in our captain tonight. And I know people don't like to talk down on him, but Brunson, throughout the game, if you watch closely, throughout the game, he was forcing them. His 40 was the most empty 40 I've seen all season. He was forcing them all game. Then Maxey is cooking everybody. So then Brunson feels like he got to take over the game and pulling Maxey. So we go to overtime. As soon as we went to overtime, quick 5 points, cool. But now he's feeling himself. Now he took the liberty to not pass the rock at all. Look back at the tape. He didn't pass the ball to any player on the team for the whole overtime. How is that possible? What are the coaches looking at? Do we just give up on team ball in overtime? Is that what we're doing now? That wasn't what got us there? Because if you pay attention, when we were really going on our runs, we wouldn't have run in the second and the third. That was when we were getting turnovers, playing good defense. The ball was moving. We got Deuce involved. Tell me y'all wouldn't have been happy with a Deuce bucket or looking for Deuce in overtime. Who would have not been comfortable with Deuce shooting the rock in overtime tonight? Everybody would have. Why did he not touch the ball one time? It was terrible execution on our captain. Love him. A terrible night. Terrible night coaching. Why do y'all not check this? It's ridiculous. Watch the tape back. That's all I gotta say. I didn't want to go to Philly, so I'm feeling a little shaky. But I think we could take this. We got 2 opportunities. Let's close this out and learn from these mistakes because tonight was terrible. Y'all have a good night.
Appreciate the call, Mr. A. Mr. A, man, upset with the captain. He said, hey, Mr. Captain, Mr. Jalen Brunson, you got to pass the rock a little bit more, especially in overtime. I mean, look, I get where the coach is going, especially when you're thinking about he's your best isolation scorer. That's who you got to go to. So it's tough, man. JD, I need to know your thoughts. Are you more in the camp of, look, when it's OT, you're thinking about the guy who's gotten you there, the guy who just scored 47 the other night, who beat Bernard King record that was held for 40 years of scoring most points in the playoffs as a Knick? Are you just saying, look, we're going to go back to Jalen Brunson because he's gotten us here. He's carried this team. So why not go to our best offensive weapon with 5 minutes in overtime? Or are you saying, hey, we got to execute a little better, get other guys involved, look for McBride, look for Josh Hart cutting? What was your thought when you got to that point? You're watching McBride just, wait down the stretch of the overtime.
Let me ask you this: were you saying that when he hit the first 2 shots in overtime?
No, actually, I was fine because he was going, but it then goes down to, hey.
So the question becomes is like, why did we really lose? Now, from that point on, I do agree. The way he finished, it was unacceptable. He went 3 of 8 in overtime, 2 for 4 from 3. He had 9 points, but after his first 2 shots, he finished overtime 1 for 7, 1 for 6, and so, I get it. I understand it. I get it. And that's also some of my criticism is it's difficult if how much of that goes on the player and how much goes on the coach because they work together, especially the way this team is constructed. Tibbs has a lot of say here. This is not your typical LeBron and with Darvin Ham when LeBron can go out there and do whatever he wants. Darvin Ham is just sitting on the sidelines. Tibbs is very well respected. He's a high profile coach. And so that's why I was saying, like, there's certain situations where I want to see if you're out there and you're seeing consecutive possessions not be successful, let's override some of the players sometimes on the court and let's make a few play calls. Let's be more structured so that we can have more player movement. Someone else can get involved and we can get, a better shot. But sometimes I think because he's so good, we sit back and we just say, Brunson, just do what you do and take us home. And again, that happens in the playoffs, but it's such a pick your poison type thing. Listen, man, we lost because of the Mitch play, bro. Like, we lost because of the Mitch play. You're up 6, 30 seconds to go. How do you lose a game? You're up 6 after that McBride shot. Like, we're not like it's such a difficult game because the frustration in us is going to lead to us to overanalyze and pick apart everything. But this is how they play. Like, next game, it's not like next game they're going to become, the Mike D'Antoni Phoenix Suns. It's going to happen. Like, this is how they play. It's going to be a lot of isolation basketball with Jalen Brunson. And tough grit and hard-nosed defense. That's their recipe. And it's about hitting shots. It's going to be about Dante DiVincenzo showing up. You're asking Deuce McBride to do it again. And that's my concern too. When you go on the road is you're asking players like a McBride to do this again on the road. It's like tonight was such a heartbreaking loss, man. I want to cry, bro.
Yeah,
I want to cry. Bro, this is crazy, man.
I feel you on the pain of losing this one, but you know what? Let's go to the video. And Daniel, I think you said you have this one ready. Let's go to Jalen Brunson on not hanging our heads and hearing what he's got to say about getting ready for the next game. If you got that clip ready, because I want to hear what I think we should all hear how Brunson's mindset is changing and looking forward to now game 6. So let me know when you have that one up and ready, so that way we can all listen and tune in. But at this point, man, just like it stinks. This is gonna be the roughest 48 hours, man. Like, I know it's not technically 48 hours because it's going to be a little less than that, but just still, man, like to wait until Thursday to watch this team play again and just the anticipation. I don't know about you, man, but I'm just going to be waiting. Like tomorrow's going to stink because I have to go wait. And here's a good good meme by Daniel. All right, I'm going to go cry. Yeah, I feel like Andy Sandberg right now, man. I'm with JD, man. I feel like you just get up and go cry after this one, man, because it was just right there for the taking. But these next 48 hours, it's going to be rough.
And you can already see it. You know, game 6, you know, we're going to come out slow. They're going to go like on a 7-0 run. It's going to be like 9-2, and the Philly crowd's going to go crazy. And then it's going to be a whole bunch of energy. And now we're going to be like, oh my God, here we are again. Like, that's what it's setting up to be, because we have not come out at all, you know, effective in the start of games. So that's another thing they're going to have to guard against, is that storm of energy that's going to be in that arena, and then the jolt that's going to give the Sixer player when they have that first little mini run, and when Tom Thibodeau calls that first timeout, because they're coming, you know, they come out ready to play, and they have that kind of like hope. This game is going to be tough, man. This game is going to be tough, and I don't even want to think about a game 7. I don't care that game 7 is at the Garden. I don't want to thinking about a game 7, because I don't care about, this is not the old Lakers, with the old Lakers, you know, could play around like that. And game 7's at Staples, and you already know the refs is on their side. You have Kobe, you have all these, you know, great players. You have Robert Horry. Like, I'm not messing with that, man. Not when Embiid on the other side. Not with a guy like Maxey, who you just don't, he has no idea where he is right now. He has no idea these playoffs. I don't even want to mess with this, man. This is why it's heartbreaking, is if it was the other way around and game 6 was at the Garden, like, it would feel probably a lot better. But we have to guard against going game 6 in Philly, and we got to find a way, bro. We have to find a way. And I think what we're leaning on is the fact that you have a team that I think will be mentally ready. And then I don't know how much the Sixers have left. That's the recipe.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, CP just got word from the captain of KFTV himself. He said he is on the way. He also wanted me to let you all know that the phone lines are open. So don't worry, if you don't got Discord, you can dial in as well. So make sure to call in, get your takes off. But Daniel said the clip is ready of Jalen Brunson, how he's ready for, hey, look at that, CP with dreads and a party hat. I don't know why he's wearing a party hat though. We're losing, so I don't think he should have a party hat for this occasion. But anywho, let's get to the Brunson clip, so that way we can hear what our guys got to say. Captain Clutch, as we call him.
Frustrating is it to be so close to ending the series and now have to go back to Philly?
It's frustrating. Obviously the way it happened, but we can't hang our heads, and we got to come back stronger and be ready to go, and just learn from what we did.
Hey, Brunson's already looking on to game 6. He's not holding his head down. I mean, and I'm sure that's all going to trickle down to the rest of the team as well. This is a mentally tough team. As JD said, are the Sixers ready to continue to compete? It seems like they keep giving their best swing, and honestly, like, their best is not always, it's not necessarily the greatest, but these teams, man, they're just evenly matched as of right now. But I do believe in the Knicks' mental fortitude, and for them to bounce back. I mean, what gives me courage and what gives me faith is how they executed in game 4. So I believe that they can do it yet again and, close it out in Philadelphia. It would have been nice to do it on your home court, but I do believe that they can get this thing done in game 6. Let's go to Tobias Harris, Daniel, if you can get to Tobias Harris's clip on guarding Jalen Brunson and how difficult he is. As JD's upset. JD, what's going on?
Level when you've ended up on Brunson defensively, but when you have those good defense, better offense possession, where you just make tough shots, like how do you how do you not then step out of your comfort zone and like lunge or jump and shot fakes, things like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think, for him, he's such a crafty guy and can get to the free throw line. And he baits you to jump certain times and hit you a few times to kind of get you off balance. But I've kind of understood that if he's going to shoot a pull-up too and it's contested, like, a good contest, and I'm kind of going to live with those. It's not allowing him to get good looks at pull-up threes and, straight line drives to the basket. But he's a very crafty player, very good and shifty with all his moves, and he's a tough cover for sure, especially having low center of gravity. But for me, it's just to stay solid. If he makes a few, you got to, if your hand is up and it's a good contest, and you just kind of got to live with it. He's that good of a player.
So there you have Tobias Harris giving credit to Jalen Brunson on his craftiness. And look, Brunson is very crafty, a difficult cover. But, can't just be him alone. You're going to need everybody else to make sure that they can get through.
That good of a player.
So
and
there you have
that reaction by me was basically
and look, Brunson is very crafty, a difficult cover. We're gonna have CP coming in soon, so if you heard a little bit of an echo, CP's getting ready and loading up to join the show. But JD, what was your reaction for? What was it about?
Because it just added frustration. Malik Beasley hit a 3 to give the Milwaukee Bucks a 82-65 lead, and I just think about this series right now looks like it's going to extend to another game, and when you got the report today of Bojan Bogdanovic being out, that's another now underlying story that's gonna be important. When you get news of that, which is very unfortunate, right? Going into this game, you were thinking, okay, how is the rotation? Is this going to be affected? Is it going to be now Alec Burks' game? I thought Tibbs was going to go actually with a bigger lineup. I thought it was going to be Precious, Mitch, and Deuce off the bench. Like, that's what I thought, because I thought, knowing Tibbs, I'm like, Tibbs is just going to counter and go with a bigger lineup, and he's going to counter with defense. He's going to lose offense with Bogey, but with the way Precious played, he's going to get rewarded with some minutes, and the Knicks are just going to have to battle it out and become a tough grit team and find a way to get those 10 to 12 points from Bogey. Ironically, I did tweet out early in the day, Big Ragu, where art thou? Because we're going to need you. We're going to need consistency. And we definitely didn't get it from him tonight. But going into game 6, it's just frustrating. You needed to close this out today, needed to get the rest, figure out what's the game plan in terms of your rotations moving forward, give these guys extra rest. And then again, looking at how Milwaukee is up by 19 here as they get ready to close the third quarter. I mean, you're looking at an Indiana team that's going on the road, and it's like they don't know how to close out a game with no Giannis and Dame. And they're letting, basically the rest of the guys beat you by 20 now with 1 minute to go in the third. I mean, when I see something like that, bro, it's like it was designed that way to get me even more frustrated and heartbroken. It's the fact that, oh my God, man, you have to figure out a way to win. That's just the bottom line.
That is the bottom line. And look who decided to join us. Look who decided to join us today. CP the franchise. Is that an exhale of
CP? Talk for the rest of the show, man.
What?
Man. Salute to everybody in the chat, man.
Toughest loss as a Knicks fan?
To witness, yeah, definitely. They choked, bro. There's no other way around it. They choked. This was supposed to be a garden party. We were supposed to set up the block party outside on 7th, and they couldn't take us home. They choked. The Mitch 4-point play, giving up the 4-point play, it happened in such a blur. Like, we didn't even know what was going on in the Garden. Like, on TV, I'm sure it was much different. But in the Garden, like, coming right off of a timeout,
And Maxey's so fast that it just instantly happened. We're like, whoa. We're like, wait a second, what's going on here? Next thing you know, it's a 3-pointer, and he's going to the line for 4.
The telecast didn't even know, CP. They didn't.
So the telecast didn't even. That's how fast that play happened.
I'm dead serious.
Maxey is.
It wasn't until they showed the replay that in the replay they showed that Maxey was way behind the line and got fouled. And there wasn't even a proper telecast call for that moment, where they showed the emotion of the moment of the shot, because they didn't even know what was going on.
Wow. Unbelievable, man. And look, tip your cap to Maxey. I thought he was great tonight. He's been great all series. Yes, McBride has done a great job in terms of slowing him down, but in the grand scheme of things, his body of work, he's been great. And when both teams are just have been laboring, I didn't know what the Knicks were going to have coming off of Sunday, and it didn't seem like they had much starting this game. But every game they tend to start slow. The rims get tight, and they're just searching for offense just in the onset. But Maxey was great, and you saw that, like, in that crunch time situation, Embiid had nothing, no one had anything, and Maxey just willed that team to victory, using his speed, using his athleticism, his quickness, his skill set. Great player, absolutely great player. But the Knicks choked, and it was the mental errors, the bad turnovers, which continue to plague this team, and the free throws. Every game I look at the free throw line, and they are 70%, 60%. They're terrible from free throws. They're terrible. You're a good team. You're not a great team. You cannot just, have mental errors here, there, and everywhere and then expect to win every game. This is an evenly matched series. And so for them, you have to play mistake-free, take care of the ball, and make your free throws. When Philly I went live in that final stretch. And when Philly fouled hard, I said, for Philly, that's a good foul. For the Knicks, you got to make your free throws. And what does he do? He makes 1 or 2, right? You go before that, Brunson, he's missing every game. He's missing a free throw or 2. Like, you can't just keep going back to the well and relying on just JB to save you. Like, you have to clean it up. And they choked, bro. They choked. And is the series over? No, absolutely not. Is it going 7? Maybe not. You never know, because things change. Like, they can easily win that game in Philly. Is it going to be harder? Much harder. Because every game you go, they're exerting so much energy. They're exerting so much physically, mentally. This is the playoffs. It's a grind. They are grinding down every single game. So, you have to wonder how much are they going to have left. And this was a blown opportunity. There's no other way around it. They choked, man. They choked. It was brutal. Absolutely brutal loss, man. Brutal, man.
I want to cry, man. Bro, I just saw a clip. Tom Thibodeau was yelling at Deuce McBride to foul Tyrese Maxey. And McBride didn't hear him. And Maxey
what on the 4-point play?
On the 3 from half court, basically.
Wow.
When Mitch was playing the great drop coverage.
Yeah. Right. And then off the heart miss, he knocks down a sensational 3 from the top of the key.
Dude.
Insane, bro.
Dude. It's just it's frustrating because, and I was telling JD earlier in the show, like, and it's sad to even hear that Tibbs is yelling at McBride to foul him, because you just can't give Maxey any opportunity, man. He's just been, especially in this game, he was just electric. I mean, everything he was putting up was just finding the bottom of the net. I mean,
he was great.
That's why I want him to be fouled. Just give him 2, inbound the ball, and then, you could have wrapped it up there. I mean, it's just, I don't know, man. I think to your point, CP, the tough part is, even though I do believe the Knicks can get it done in 6, it's just.
How you feeling, Alex? Tell the truth. How you feeling? Are you feeling in your heart this is coming back to the Garden?
No, I don't think this is coming back to the Garden. I think they end it in Philadelphia. But it's just.
Is that your mind speaking?
You can't keep relying on Brunson. Like somebody else has got to show up, and like I don't know, like they got a good outing from OG. JD, it just comes back down to who we talked to. It's like Dante. You don't have Bogdanovich anymore. Like where's offense going to come from now? Bogdanovich is done, so like you got to hope that like we got 2 excellent Josh Hart games in those first 2. Then we get OG for the next 2. Where's more offense coming from? Because it is just a slugfest at this point. I mean, for crying out loud, even Tobias Harris, who's been a joke, the Sixers fans are ready to get rid of him. He went 7-11 for tonight. Man had 19 points. And I just look at Philly, and I don't know how many times you're going to get an Embiid 7-19 from the field, only 19 points. And that you're going to have an opportunity to beat it. Like Maxey really did the damn thing tonight.
Yeah.
But it's just so hard to expect that to happen again.
I thought Mitch's defense on Embiid was good. I mean, you gave credit there. Mitch's defense was good, which is why he ended up being closing in the end. I thought the lineup that they had that was cooking was Brunson, Deuce, Hart, OG, Mitch. I said on Twitter, that's the goon squad right there. That was a nice little squad, but late game execution.
You know who I blame for this, CP?
Whoa.
I blame Dave Early because he came on Game of the Week last night with that Reggie Miller shirt. And guess what he did? He decided to go put a Reggie Miller with Tyrese Maxey face over Miller's with the whole. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Dave put the juju on him, and it came through, man.
CP, there's a couple of concerns for me in Game 6. One is Isaiah Hartenstein. I don't think he's playing well. I think that this is just not a matchup for him. It's so tricky because we're not utilizing his ability enough on offense, I feel like. Because you've seen stretches in this series where when he can get that floater game, he puts pressure on Embiid. But other than that, he just has no. He's not. He's just not defending Embiid and making the impact all around.
JD, are you looking for Precious? I'm going to just ask you right now. Are you looking for Precious to get in there?
Well, the thing is, it's not going to happen, but because it's just putting more pressure on Mitch now because Mitch is back and Tibbs is going to rely on Mitch.
Yeah.
But Mitch just has I don't know if Mitch is the funny walk or he's limp. Like sometimes, half the times, I don't know if the guy is limping, laboring, or what, to what degree, because his walk is similar to a limp, and the conditioning and all that. So now Mitch is gonna have more pressure in Game 6, and then I know that Tibbs, is he really gonna go to Precious? He should, but is he? I don't know.
No, not on a night like tonight. When I don't think Precious or the rotation had anything to do with it. Mitch had it going. He deserved to close the game. He blew it. He blew it. The Maxey thing was a boneheaded mistake by him. The missed free throws compounded the issue. Brunson was terrible in overtime, and that's it. You going home. Maxey was greater. That's just it. And for this Knicks team, you just can't keep leaning on him every single time. As much as we want to, relish in the victories in Game 1, 2, and 4, they could have easily lost those games. In every single game, they've been down early, and then they got to come back. They got to claw back in the non-Embiid minutes. Tonight, they were good, even in Embiid minutes with that goon squad lineup. But in those other games, they got to claw back during the non-Embiid minutes. Then they're in for a dogfight in the fourth quarter. Every single game has come down to that. It's come down to crunch time and who's been better. Tonight, it was Philly's time. And the Knicks choked in the final 20 seconds, bro. They choked.
And the history tells you, like you said, you're using the magic word, choke. Choke jobs in history do not end well. And so we have a lot of adversity in front of us now. And now Tibbs is going to have to step up. Because what this moment creates now is even another level of expectation. As I mentioned earlier, like as unfair as it is, McBride is going to have to do a little bit more. As unfair as it is, Jalen Brunson is going to have to do a little bit more. We talked about Mitchell Robinson just now. He is their best matchup against Embiid. You want to talk about a positive going into Game 6? Well, that's a positive. Is Mitch is going to be able to do the best job that we have against Embiid. And then as a backup, you have Precious, you have OG. So the Knicks have now seems to be a plan against Embiid. He only had 19 points tonight. You saw a lot of his shots were tough shots. The Knicks, there's a plan now. There's structure against him. Now the Knicks have a Tyrese Maxey problem.
Yeah.
A young guy, CP, he has no idea this is the playoffs. I said the same thing about McBride before you were here. McBride and Maxey are two level of players now in terms of talents, but there's no playoffs in their mind. They're not intimidated by this moment. And so the Knicks have to guard against that in Game 6, and everyone's going to have to step up.
What Big Perk say, man? He said the pressure is all on you when you got to close out. Toughest part of the closeout game. The pressure is all on you. And the Knicks couldn't close, man. A classic MSG choke job by this team. And it's just unfortunate because the night was going well. And, all the legends were in there. Patrick Ewing got a big ovation, and Carmelo was in there, and Starks, and Sprewell, Cammy, everybody. The whole squad was in there, man.
LJ.
This was a historical game. How about the game, though? I know we lost. It's hard to say. But I was about to come up here and say, in a win, when we were up 6-37, I was about to come in here and say, yo, this is like one of the best playoffs games I've ever seen.
Yeah,
like the game was wild. All the turns, the lead changes, this and that, the steals, like all the crazy plays, the calls, Mitch and Oubre, like, this was this is a classic playoff game in history too.
Yeah. And a classic Nick meltdown. Which one of you asked me? I don't remember. It was you, JD, you, Alex, or was it Dexter on one of them preview shows? And not to kick the guy when he's down, but somebody was asking me if I trusted Ragu in the playoffs. And my immediate answer was no. It might have even been Allen on. My immediate answer was hell no. I don't trust him in the playoffs. Listen, and this is not, this is not Monday morning quarterback because of what's happening. Like, he's just one of those guys,
Limited.
He's limited. He's limited. That's it, Alex. He's limited. And so when you take away his strengths, and what does he do next? It becomes difficult. You can't just be out there just chucking up your regular shots, especially when they're contested now. It's harder. You're losing your legs game by game by game. This is game number, how many games into playoffs are we? 6? This is game number 88. Right? This is game number 88. It's not the same as game numbers 3, 4, 5, 6. It's different now. This is a different ballgame. This is why the playoffs are much harder. It's much harder, but thankfully you got Deuce coming in there, and Deuce is now. He's got Burks at the rotation now. He's taking Dante's minutes in closing time.
So CP, are you? I asked JD this question. Are you giving McBride more minutes over Dante at this point? Because I'm not gonna lie, even when Dante hit the mid range today, I was like, I didn't have confidence I was going in. I was surprised that he hit a mid range today.
I think even in game 4, even on Sunday, I was looking to get Deuce in there earlier. But at that time, later in the third quarter, Ragu stepped up. He had 8 points in that. He had timely 8 points in that third quarter. So no, because you don't want to lose the guy's confidence, right? You're still trying to play and win and go through the playoffs. So you have to stick with Ragu. But what Tibbs is doing is he's closing with Deuce, which is the right thing to do. You got to give Ragu. Look, we're going to give you the 40 minutes to show us what you can do. And if you don't have it, we have a capable replacement right here who's been a solid two-way player for this team for the entire series. And I trust Deuce just as much, if not more, than Ragu right now. So that's fine. But you don't want to just put him on the bench because you need him. You only got 7 guys. You need everybody right now.
Yeah.
So you keep him starting, keep his confidence, and you go to Deuce when you need to close.
And that's the next question. Are you sticking with 7 guys in game 6?
I think you got to, right?
I think, yeah.
Do you have enough?
I mean,
in terms of like Listen,
are you
they're conditioned, but I
I
mean,
guess the question,
Jesus.
JD,
The problem with Dante is he's not even allowing Tibbs to even try to steal 6 minutes from Brunson off the floor because there's no confidence in Dante. That's the difference. Is like we can't even. Where's the margin to give Brunson 6 minutes of rest?
Right.
That's the problem right now.
Right.
So
Yeah.
are you saying that the Knicks should go 6? The next
No.
game?
Is
Is that what you're saying, JD?
Bro.
Hell no.
Okay.
No, man.
I didn't know
No.
if that's what you were asking. You're like, do we stick with 7, or are you asking?
I'm not gonna say
okay?
Alec Burks' name. I'm gonna leave that for
He's either
CP.
saying Burks or Precious. It's
Well,
either
isn't
Burks.
his
Yeah,
shoulder
Burks
hurt
will-
anyway? So can Burks even play?
Well,
either
if
Burks
you
or
play
Precious.
Precious, it's not that you're getting offense. So it's not like, oh my God, we're gonna put Precious. That's gonna be the solution. But just putting Precious in could just give someone else a few more minutes of rest.
Yeah.
And at the very least, because these games have proven to be, slugfest, even if you include Precious and you don't necessarily get the offensive jump that you could be looking for, you could probably get, a few more stops and still buy the time. So it doesn't necessarily mean that the offense is going to uptick, but the game could still flow within, a margin of points because Precious is at least going to help you get stops. And is there reward in doing that? Well, the reward in doing that could be that some of your starters could just get 3 to 6 minutes extra of rest, and that could be the difference when the game is in the fourth quarter, as you saw tonight. Both teams were tired.
Let me hit this reset real quick, man. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. CP, Alex, JD in the building, man. Tough Knicks lost tonight as they fall to the 76ers in overtime, 112 to 106. The phone lines are up, 657-383-1509. We will get to your phone calls. We definitely have a lot of people on the Discord that we want to get to as well, so hang tight. We will get there. We just want to hit the quick reset and salute to another one of our sponsors, a new sponsor tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and that is Cuts. Cuts clothing, guys. Let's be real, man. Most guys wear T-shirts on a daily basis. If you could wear a T-shirt, every day of your life, you probably would. Like me, I rock right tees on a regular basis. Part of the problem is, sometimes you can't rock. They're not versatile, right? You can't rock them to work. You can't rock them on a hot date. But today's sponsors, Cuts, has finally changed that, man. With Cuts T-shirts, you have high quality, wrinkle-free, soft quality T-shirts, man. So you could dress it up or dress it down. And Cuts doesn't only have T-shirts, guys. They have polo shirts, button-downs. For your bottoms, you have khakis. You have khaki shorts, the whole 9 yards. All great quality and cut to fit your shape, man. And they styled the whole squad, man. Myself, Alex, and JD all have the some Cuts gear. I got a fresh polo and some khakis that I'm planning to take down to Summer League this summer. I'm going to be teaching at Summer League this summer, so I'm going to be bringing down some Cuts clothing, some nice polos. What's that?
You say you're going to be teaching? Hold on one second.
Yeah. Yeah, another announcement for another day. But anyway, I'm just telling you about the wardrobe that I'm bringing down to Summer League this year. So I'm going to be bringing down the polo and the khakis, the khaki shorts, and the whole 9 yard, man. But for you guys at home, check them out. Go to cuts.com. Use our code KFTV20 for 20% off your first order. Trust and believe, you can't beat it. And Daniel, just go to the main shot with the three of us. Al, you got your joint. JD, you should have gotten your joint already. I don't know if you guys rocked them and tried them on. The quality's on point with Cuts, man.
The quality is it is perfect. I took a picture of the wrapping before I threw it. I was like, I got to order more of these shirts, more of these pants, because let me tell you, I was stunned by how comfortable they were.
Yeah, this is the quality is definitely on point. This is how you know why, because I haven't put them on yet. But the reason is because when I looked at it, I said, can't just put them on any day.
Exactly.
I gotta be like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
You get something, you get something that you're like, hold on, let me save this for a date. Let me save this for an occasion, a dinner.
Yeah, he's talking like the first day of school type fit. That's what he's talking about.
Exactly. So I gotta wait for brunch or something, put it on, and look a little fresh. Maybe I'll wear it Thursday after they win.
Yeah, man.
If the Knicks win, sheesh.
Shout out to Cuts, man. KFTV20. Go to cuts.com. and cutsclothing.com. Sorry, and use our code KFTV20 for 20% off your first order. Okay. All right, let's get to the phones, man. Let's get to the Discord. Go to Coffee on the Discord. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good, man. What's your name? Where you calling?
Calling from Canada, Coffee.
Yes.
Big time fan of the show, but never called in. But this was a depressing loss, so I had to at least give a couple of my thoughts since we just had it and we just lost it. Obviously, for the next game, obviously we can look at all the mistakes and the choking we did, but as far as the next game, we have to think of how we're actually going to win Game 6. And I see a lot of people complaining about Brunson and his ISO basketball and not passing in the fourth quarter. I think we got to give a lot of credit to Nick Nurse. He's throwing the kitchen sink at him as far as defensive coverages. The first game, he was funneling him into Embiid. Contesting from the back, and he was getting a lot of his shots blocked, and he was very hesitant. Then in Philly, he completely switched it. He completely was way more comfortable. Brunson, he was just getting into a shot really fast. Embiid was in drop; he was taking advantage. So it's just going to basically take Brunson making tough shots in front of the contest, and if they don't send double, like in the first half, they sent double teams at him, and we were carving them up completely with Ihart in the short roll. So in the playoffs, it's about your best players, making, big plays. As far as Tibbs making adjustments, I think, CP, you were just talking about Dante and how you don't want to make him lose his confidence. But I think in the playoffs is really about, playing your best guys. And Deuce right now, as far as his defense, he completely changes our game. He's the only guy I think that can really stick with Maxey. And as far as even with having what's his name, Dante playing, it completely compromises our defense because now we're starting hard on him and we're putting Dante on smaller players, and it kind of affects our rebounding. But with Deuce, I just feel like all the matchups are perfect. OGs can be the roamer, and he's helping on Embiid's block. So helping on Embiid and pushing in transition. So I think it just completely compromises our defense with Dante instead of having Deuce there. And as far as, having the mistakes and being lackadaisical, I think, what's his name? JD was saying how a lot of turnovers down the stretch. I think a lot of it just has to do with fatigue. Guys are playing big minutes, and the longer you play, the more fatigue you have down the stretch, especially Brunson. Like, if in the first quarter, I don't see him making a turnover like that. Same thing with Ihart. Same thing with Hart.
Tired, man. They're tired, bro.
Exactly. And the longer the series goes, that's why I really wanted to finish it today, just because the longer the series goes, we're already running out of bodies. Guys are just going to keep making mistakes. So it's going to get even harder down the stretch of this series. So I really wanted it, because we were right there. And the way we were playing defense in the fourth quarter with Deuce playing and OG as a roamer, we had them completely locked down. Embiid was just trying to find cross-court passes. He wasn't able to do it. And I think that was a lot of it had to do with just pre-switching, having Deuce guard Maxey, pre-switching, and OG is just so good as a help defender. So it's going to take a lot for us to win Game 6. And honestly, Game 6 on the road, it's your best player. So Brunson's going to have to make those tough plays, and hopefully we rebound enough for us to, to close out the series.
He does, man. You don't got to worry about him. It's the rest. The Nova Knicks are going to carry this team. They have to do it. They have to do it, and it's really Dante, man. You need more from him. And you can say, okay, they got 2 more games left to get it done. These guys are gassed. They're gassed. We saw it on Sunday. Every interview I did between Sunday and now, I said, I don't know how much this team has left. That's what I said. I just went on Fox 5 today. I don't know what this team has left.
And you might have players maybe in better shape or condition than Maxey, right? But Maxey is the type of player that he's just gonna go and go.
He has unlimited energy. You should have
seen him after the game. He was like ready to play another quarter,
bro. And he got dropped. He fell on his back like twice, pretty damn hard in this game. Bounced back up and just started to kill. He's a great player, man. He's a great player, bro.
That's the problem. Is he he is, him and McBride are 2 guys that are gonna be good for 7 games. Problem is, Bride's not as good as Maxey, and then our players, how much do they have left? On the like I said, on the positive end, Embiid is also on the other end. And now he's definitely gassed now.
He's gassed. He's gassed, man.
Bro,
So
he looks exhausted.
he
I was just saying,
does.
he looked like he was ready to like pat. He's probably talking to Maxey like, "Look, man, I'm glad that you did this for the team, but I
Yeah.
was ready to go on vacation."
Yeah.
Listen to me,
And that's because of Mitch. Remember, I said earlier in this series when Mitch was out, I said that could be a problem when he was out because Mitch on the perimeter can guard him. He can guard him, and if Embiid is not careful, Mitch will block a few of his jump shots.
He did.
He got one. He got one tonight because Mitch can test at the highest point. So that makes Embiid work more. Makes him take another dribble. Makes him do another extra jab step. Makes him look around the court more, and that all takes away some energy away from him. So, I don't know how they're gonna do it, man, and I don't know how I'm gonna sleep. This is tough, bro.
When Mitch blocked the jumper, and then they found McBride for the corner three in that third. That was part of McBride in the third. Second. Sorry, in the second. When he blocked the jumper, then found McBride for the corner three, the place went crazy. And then McBride had another three. And you said it, JD. Like his drives in the playoffs, it's the best he's ever looked. And this is the playoffs. This is a guy who could never separate from other players, whose drives, even early in the regular season, were terrible. And now he's not only driving directly to the basket, his mid-range is filthy right now. And one of the drives he had, because I knew he was out to pat, that was in the second quarter, the assist that he caught to Brunson for the three. When McBride's driving in the lane, I said, bro, that's nice, because I already knew he was setting it up to catch JB on that left elbow three, and he got him. I was like, bro, McBride, that was an insane play. So, that's been a bright spot of this series. And, without McBride, it's hard to say where they would be in this series. Yes, Brunson has been a constant, and you love that. And they've gotten some good play from Hart and OG, especially in Game 4. But McBride, man, McBride has been another constant off the bench. And without him, it's hard to say where this series would be. He's been great.
There's only 3 players right now on this team that can create for themselves outside of JB. JB obviously being in his own category, but it's OG and McBride at this point. And that's the offense that you got to rely on. So, look, like I said, you get another efficient night from OG, which is just fantastic. 7 to 12 from the field, 17 points. I just felt like he was just as impactful as he was in Game 4. I think you just need a little bit more McBride at this point, man, because the pressure that he's been putting on the rim, especially with the change of pace, it's different. It just keeps the defense honest. And the 3-point shooting is just what's been different. I mean, he wasn't phenomenal tonight as he has been, but you just have to honor him at this point. And because he has that ability to just switch things up, I don't know, man. I think you just need to play him more at this point, even over Dante. Like if Dante, I know we were talking about Dante having confidence, but at this point, you're in a position where you got to do whatever you can to win. And I think McBride is more of that key at this point than just giving Dante more burn.
Shout out to Robin Chowd checking in from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Says, I can feel the panic amongst us. $50 super chat. The most we can do is believe in what the Knicks have been doing all season. We all saw the look in Brunson's face. He's going to finish them in 6. That's it. Yeah, I mean, look, it's not panic. It's not disbelief. It's reality. They continue to play in a series where, every series, it's a hard fought battle. It's grueling. It's a grind. It's a physical. It's a mental battle. So the more you put on yourself, the harder it is to get to the next one. When you're undermanned and you're going 7-man rotations and you're leaning on one guy for the bulk of your offense every single night, it's a tall order. It's a tall order. And so, I mean, that's just reality. To the Discord, man. Josh Nichols 365. Go ahead and unmute your mic. Josh Nichols 365.
Yo, how's it going?
Good, man. How you feeling?
Good, good. Appreciate shout out to you guys. Appreciate what you do. Great show. Just a couple things, game 6, feeling pretty confident. Brunson's best 2 games so far of the series have been at Wells Fargo. So I'm sure he's gonna turn it up there. But you guys were alluding to it a little bit before with the 7 or 8 man rotation. I think you gotta get Precious in the game at least 10, 15 minutes if you can. There's some backup 4 minutes just to get OG and Hart on the bench. Hart played 53 minutes tonight. He didn't get a single second of break. I'm not saying that's why he missed a free throw, but this dude's going 100% for the whole game. Knicks had 3 guys play over 50 minutes tonight. As trash as the Sixers bench is, the only guy that played over 50 was Maxey.
Right.
So we got to do a little bit better in that aspect, I think. Even it doesn't have to be at the 5, but at least some backup 4 minutes just to get OG and Hart some rest.
Yeah, that's fair. Fair point, man. Appreciate the call. Let's go to Nick Ola. Nick Ola on the Discord. Go ahead and unmute your mic. Is Nick Ola ready? All right. He's on deafen and mute, so I don't think he's ready for the Discord. Semi-Auto 155. Semi-Auto 155. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yo, what's good? Can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear. What's your name? Where are you calling in from?
Yo, this is Al. I'm calling in from Tampa, originally from Harlem.
Okay.
I wanted to, you kind of stole my thunder a little bit, CP. You were just touching on this. I think, not closing out today is going to have implications moving forward, assuming we move on and into round 2. We're getting ready for a track meet against the Indiana Pacers, and we're already starting to see some tired legs. Shout out to the Bucks for at least extending it, man, because I was worried that the Pacers were going to close out today and get some extra rest on us. So, we dodged a little bit of a bullet there, but if we want to gear up for a long playoff run, which, I'm hoping we get to the ECF and we can, battle, hopefully make it into the finals. We're running a 7-man rotation, and we're not doing ourselves any favors by not closing out this team today. We're going to be on tired legs sooner rather than later. So we need all the rest we can get, man. We should have closed this out today. Really disappointed.
Likewise, man. Appreciate the call. Call back anytime, bro. All right, we're loading some more up. We're getting through these rapid fire, man. Tough night. Shot boss. Go ahead and unmute your mic. Shot boss on the Discord. We're going to get to the super chats as well. Shot boss. Go ahead and unmute your mic. All right, we don't have shot boss, so you can call back. Rolando Corrales, a franchise channel member, fellas. $5 super chat says it's all good. Make adjustments for game 6 and execute, but put defensive pressure on Maxey in the 4th quarter. Well, you can't stop 2 players at one time, man. You put the focus on Embiid, somebody's going to cook. But Maxey was just great. He was just better than what the Knicks could do tonight. G Code Lifestyle, go ahead and unmute your mic. G Code Lifestyle.
What's up, fellas? Appreciate everything you do, man. First time caller. Been listening for a long time. To me, man, I know we are a little bit panicking a little bit. I could hear it in everybody's voice. JD, you my man. I feel exactly how JD's face is. But my call in tonight was really about just the coaching decisions, I guess, down the stretch. And how you guys felt about it. Ending the game with 2 timeouts, kind of inexcusable a little bit. I think that if we would have just called one of them and at least let everybody know, what to do, up 6 points. Hey, guys, we want them to get a 2-pointer, no fouls, no threes. Let them know that. And then, of course, once Josh Hart made 1 free throw, I felt that was another opportunity to call a timeout and let everybody know, even if they get the ball in the front court, you're just telling them, hey, we're fouling immediately. Foul immediately, play the free throw game, see how it goes. I'm still confident about game 6. And even, down the road, if we have to go to a game 7, I still think we're, in position to win this. But I did feel kind of, a little wary about the overtime just because of the amount of minutes everybody played. But just wanted to hear your thoughts on the coaching decision. And do you think that would have played a difference in the game? Thanks a lot, guys.
So a lot of people were looking for that. JD, I didn't know if you guys had covered that when the show opened. What you think about that sequence there?
What, the fouling? Like,
Yeah.
should have fouled?
Yeah, Maxey on that last three.
I said he should have fouled. And JD just pointed that Tibbs was yelling at McBride to foul Maxey, but McBride didn't hear it. But I thought you should have, just because, and I said this earlier, Maxey was just in his bag tonight, and you just don't want to give a guy who's hot any opportunity. And we've seen this, guys who are just feeling it, they can just pull up from anywhere at any point, and then that's essentially what Maxey did, right? He just pulled up from just a half-court heave, and he made it look easy. So I would have liked for there to have been a foul, but it's just tough to keep up with Maxey, man, because of he's a blur out there. That's the biggest thing with Maxey, is that he has such elite speed. It's like when you used to watch John Wall, or even when you watch De'Aaron Fox right now, those type of players, it's just hard to stop, because if they have the shot making and that quickness, they're just going to put you in hell, because there's not many players that can keep up with that type of speed laterally. Just the stop and go. It's just insane. So I wish he did foul. Yeah, that was my point on it.
Yeah, I mean, and I think Daniel was showing it too. But again, you saw Tibbs just trying to get Deuce's attention. You had 2 timeouts there. The Sixers had no timeouts, so you could have played the foul game, and Sixers would have had to go 94 feet. I always like, depending on the personnel that you have, the team that you have, I like playing it straight up. I don't mind it. I just think that they played it wrong in terms of Mitch playing the drop coverage. If you have Maxey with the ball, either double him or blitz on the pick. As soon as he got the pick, like, Mitch should have been already up there. But the whole thing just got messed up. It got goofed up because Tibbs wanted one thing. They didn't do nothing. And you see Embiid set the pick at half court, and Mitch is nowhere to be found around the play. Like, right there, you should be showing early. No hedge on that play, and nothing. So I like playing it straight up, as long as the proper play call is called, so that you're able to get your best defense on the possession. And the Knicks didn't get any of it. They didn't get the foul call that Tibbs wanted, and the proper play scheme was not even executed in that play. So they went 0 for 2 in a big critical point of the ballgame.
Fair points, man. Fair points. All right, a couple more before we wrap up. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. 646-924. What's your name? Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling from LA.
Hey, how are you, man?
I'm chilling, man. I'm a first time caller. I've been listening to you for this year. I've been a Knicks fan since the mid '80s, kind of.
Nice.
Like since the Bomb Squad.
Nice.
Really, tonight was just about terrible clock management. Honestly, we that pass from Hart to OG Anunoby. If he just holds the ball, we win the game. So it's really about composure, understanding what situation we're in, and JB, Tibbs, they have a lot to do with that. We got to calm down the team and realize we are in a pressure situation, and we need to look at it that way.
Okay.
And that's all I have to say.
Appreciate it, man. Have you been going to 33 taps or the watch parties, man? Or are you like a I got to watch at home type of guy?
Unfortunately, I got 2 girls. I got a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old, and it doesn't allow me to get out that much.
No problem.
I watch every game. I've watched all 82 for the season, every game in the playoffs. So it's honestly, I haven't missed a game in like 30 years. So it's
appreciate it.
Knicks basketball is a big thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, all good, man. Dad life is the best life, man. But hopefully, we'll get together at some point, man. 33 taps in Silver Lake is where the whole gang is at watching the games.
I appreciate. Yeah, I'm in the West Side. That's like an hour away. If you don't know LA traffic.
So I'm very familiar, man. Yeah.
But no, nonetheless, big Knicks fan my whole life.
Okay.
Going back all the way. But you guys are doing a big thing. I appreciate you guys.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate the call. Yep.
No, I was. No, go ahead. You can go with the next one. I was gonna go over a quick play.
Okay. All right. Let me get to the next hole and we'll go to the next play. 646-925. What's your name? Where are you calling in from?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear. What's your name? Where are you calling in from?
What's up, CP? This is Aaron speaking. I'm from New York. Salute to all you guys.
Appreciate it.
I just wanted to, first time caller. I just wanted to say real quick, like, I feel like a lot of people are like, I understand it, like harping on the loss and everything. And it just happened, obviously. But like, I just feel like, we still have 3-2, you know? So like, I feel like we just got to focus on getting that dub in Philly, Thursday. And then we should be all right. But honestly, that's really all I had to say. I just feel like everybody just got to keep their head up. And like, bro, we still up 3-2. So we'll be all right.
Fair enough.
So,
Optimism, man. Thanks for the call. All right, yeah, go ahead, JD.
Daniel, if you can play that last play, and if as soon as Embiid sets the pick and Maxey comes over, if you can just pause it there to show Mitch's defensive position, because if you pay attention to how Mitch goes into that position, that tells me that technique is of a guy that's expecting Maxey to attack him for a drive. And so if when you see that, that's also a moment of Mitch not really understanding that moment at that time. And so if they show it here, watch how Mitch play it more. Watch how Mitch gets into that position. And then he takes like a step back. He's expecting a drive. And if you look at the play when Hartenstein blocked the shot on Maxey earlier in the series off a timeout, it's kind of that, you see the guard, at a distance coming at you. You could get confused and think, oh, he's setting this pick to go right off the pick and just drive and get a quick layup. And Mitch got into that position to defend a guard that's going to drive against him. And unfortunately, that technique was not the proper technique at the time, at that moment, and the Knicks paid for it.
415. What's your name? Where are you calling in from?
Hey, CP, it's Jason from West Nyack.
Hey, how are you?
The Rock.
I'm
good, man. The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to The Rock.
Yep.
Living in San Francisco now.
Okay.
Called before, but hey, great analysis tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Tough loss, obviously. Mm-hmm. It hurts. Could have closed them out. It was right there for us when Deuce hit that beautiful shot from the foul line. Thought it was over.
Yeah, we all did.
But yeah, I mean, he pulled that up and drained that up by 6 with 30 seconds. He thought it was good to go, but not to be. I think this one's on Tibbs, man. One comment: he had the same guys on the floor for 10 minutes in the third, and that's tough. We were up by 10, then we were up by 6, and then no subs at all. They were gassed in the fourth. Brunson's shots were short, a lot of them. And, you got to use the subs we have. Precious has to play. He had to play tonight. After the last game, he did so good. You got to get him in the rotation, And then Deuce, it's time for Deuce to start. I think Deuce starts game 6. Bring him on. It's his time. Give him a chance.
All right. Appreciate the call, man.
That's all I got, CP. Thanks, guys.
No problem, man. Thanks for calling in, man. Yeah, Deuce is not going to start, man. He's not going to start. Look, yes, we could talk about rotate. We could go rewind. At the end of the day, they had a 6-point lead with 20 seconds left in the game. 90% of the chance. I don't know what the probability is. I'm not a mathematician, but you look that stat up, and I'm sure there's a 90% chance that a team wins the game. They choked. We could talk rotations and who needs to start, who needs to close. They choked. They had a 20 seconds left, 6-point lead, and you let Maxey score 7 points on you in how many game seconds? They got us. You know, we demoralized them in game 4. They demoralized us in game 5. Now it's back to it. Headed back to Philly on Thursday.
CP, keep it a buck. Are you nervous?
No, I'm not. It's 2 evenly matched teams, man. It can go. The ball can bounce. It's literally the bounce of a ball how these games have ended, man. Every single game, it's been tight. Every single game.
This is like the Eastern Conference. This feels, it's crazy because tonight it felt like a game 7. I had like a game 7 feel of a series.
Yeah.
And from a matchup and just degree of difficulty standpoint.
Yeah.
Bro, like the NBA is getting a conference finals series in the first round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the NBA is loving this. TNT right now is loving this. Like network, NBA is loving what's going on right now.
Yeah.
With these games. Because, I mean, Milwaukee, OKC Pelicans, what was that?
Yeah.
Even Phoenix Suns. Yeah, other than the star-studded Suns, I mean, 3 of those games weren't even games.
Yeah.
Tonight, Milwaukee, like the Knicks have given the NBA the best series.
For sure.
And
And
it's crazy.
Albin in chat says, how can you not be nervous? There's 2 evenly matched teams. Well, they have 2 more games to get it done. I was nervous for Sunday. I was nervous at game 4.
So you're less nervous now than you were?
Yeah. I was more nervous for game 4. I felt like that was a momentum swing.
I mean, you got people panicking after tonight, bro. Like people are like really, like they're thinking, I mean, you got people saying, this is gonna. You already know the NBA way. This is definitely gonna go 7. Like blah blah blah. Like you're seeing the stage set up, and I can't, bro.
I don't know if it's just a stage setup. It's just you gave the team life. You expect them to be energized. What crowd will be? What will they have on Thursday? I would expect that it would lean more Philly than it did Sunday. Like Sunday was just a perfect storm. It was a Sunday at 1:00 game. It was an easy travel for New Yorkers, so it was easy for us to take over. There were literally no Philly fans in the building tonight at the Garden. You could literally spot them like one here, one there, one there.
This cannot happen to us, bro. We've worked too hard for this. This cannot happen to us. I'm dead serious.
It's not nervous. It's frustrated, man. It's extremely disappointing. They choked.
It can't end. It can't end now. This cannot. This journey cannot end now, bro.
It's not nervous because they can beat this team. Say that. Go ahead, Al.
No, this team knows how to bounce back after tough losses. So I'm not like it. I think the thing is that what's more frustrating, and we've all touched on it, is it gets down to the minutes, and this team needs rest. And
they need rest, man.
The fact that now you're going to play 6 games, and then after you're done, you're going to get shorter rest to now get ready for the second round, where you don't have Bogdanovich, you don't have Julius. It's just too many injuries to this team, and you don't have enough offense. I mean, shout out to CP for the interview with Kendrick Perkins today, man. Big perk. I mean, he talked about you need another guy who's a dog on offense, and that would be Julius. And we don't have Julius. And he says that's the type of guy that you would need right now to make a title run. And so you need everybody to be as fresh as possible for every single series. And it just stinks that you had an opportunity to close out in 5. Pacers just lost to the Bucks, so now they're going to a game 6 as well. You could have had a little bit more rest before you faced one of those teams. God forbid that the Pacers Milwaukee goes to 7, then you have even more rest. So that's my biggest gripe with tonight's loss, is that it was just there for the taking, and then you just let it slip away.
This was supposed to be a party. I had the cigar on deck.
Yeah, I was ready, man.
I was ready.
I was looking forward to it. I was excited, man.
I was ready to smoke a pack.
I was ready, man.
Alex just mentioned the Perkins interview, bro. We were supposed to have a segment on the show about how great that interview was, the highlights of that, the funny moments of that. Like, this was supposed to be, as you said, CP, all-out party.
It's supposed to be a party, man. They said Sucker Punch was rocking. It was packed in there. You know, everybody showed up for the elimination game, man. Yeah, shout out to everybody that came through, though, man. Shout out to everybody that came through.
I mean, the only thing that really bothers me is that we don't get to see CP have to fly out to one of these other arenas too soon and just go try their food. That's really bugging me.
Yo, you gonna go to Game 6?
Nah. I'll be at Sucker Punch, bro. I'll be at the watch party. Everybody come to Sucker Punch, man. Pull up. JD, if
you don't want a hoagie?
Nah, I ain't going to Philly for Game 6, man. I'll be at Sucker Punch. I'll be at the watch party, closing it out.
You want to hit a Wawa?
Nah, man. Not on a Thursday. I'll be at Sucker Punch, and that's where you can find me at, man.
You didn't want to go get a Philly cheesesteak again? No? That's not what you wanted?
Nah, yeah, I rock with Tony Luke's heavy, man. I'll go get a cheesesteak. No Cheese Whiz. Forget all that, like, weird stuff. But I'll go get a cheesesteak, but, you know, not on a Thursday.
No, the game's at 9 on Thursday.
Oh yeah, that was a possibility, wasn't it?
It's scheduled at 9.
Wow, that's weird.
9 o'clock Eastern time. You have because it's a whole new slate because of the results of both games tonight. So you have Milwaukee at Indiana, and it's funny how they do it this way because they want the primetime slot for the Knicks game. So they're starting, you know, you're in rush hour, you're in 6:30 p.m. is the start of the Milwaukee Bucks at Indiana, and then 9 p.m. they're gonna have the Knicks in Philadelphia.
Super weird.
Make sure to take your naps, people.
Yeah, make sure to take your naps for sure. Shout out to everybody that tapped in. The perk interview was crazy. Went off the charts. We had 3.3 live viewers. Shows did 32,000 views in less than 24 hours. 600 comments on the perk interview, man. 600 comments.
600 comments.
Who's going through that? I got to go through these 600 comments on the perk interview, man. So shout out to everybody that tapped in, was locked in. Shout out to everybody sharing content. Everybody hate watching.
Who's going to go through 600 comments? I'm going to go through 600 comments.
I'm going to go through 600 comments after I get through the merch, man. But anyway,
it's a 9 p.m. game, you know, on the Eastern time. Maybe by the fourth quarter, you know, Embiid will start getting drowsy, and some of the older Batum, maybe he'll start getting sleepy, and maybe it'll help us.
Might be. Maybe a little change, you know, maybe a little change in clock might help us, man.
By that point, CP might be at 466 when it comes to
I might be at comment 421. Comment 420. All right. Let's salute just franchise channel members and wrap up. Shout out to Sosa, John Talento, Glenn Corbett, Matt Godfrey. All these people joined during the perk interview. CM, aka Creative, salute. Spence H, Jack Keen, Neo the Soul Slayer, salute. At Freak NY, $5 super chat says taking a 3 from the New York logo is disrespectful. This game was about respect. They don't respect the Knicks. That's a problem. No, it's not about respect. It's about winning. Tyrese Maxey wanted to win. They got the win. They stole it. They took it. BB Shark 99, $5 super chat says therapy super chat. Brunson joining the Villanova jump passing. What the family show, bruh. It's mental error. You know, uncharacteristic mental error by Captain Clutch. It happens. And we move on to the next one. Boniac Soto, $5 super chat franchise channel member says Brunson holds on to the ball too much and missing free throws costs us a game. No, yes, you can argue that, but you can also say who else is out there, man. You know, he's got to do everything. Big Surge. Shout out to Big Surge. Is not fouling Maxey in the backcourt at the end of regulation was the most boneheaded family show I've ever seen. Up by 3, you foul. Yeah. Doesn't seem to be in the Tibbs playbook, man. He's had several opportunities to do that over the course of a season. Terry Cow, $2, $5 super chat says we did not have the intensity and desperation in the second half. Should have been up by 12 plus. Besides Maxey, they basically gave up. Yeah, the third quarter, I didn't like the start of the third quarter either. But at the end of the day, you still had a 6-point lead with 20 seconds left. You got to close it. Shout out to Aaron Ho. Shout out Leon Johnson, franchise channel member, $5 super chat says, now someone can potentially get injured, letting that team have another lifeline. It's always a possibility when you play the game. Shout out Brock 01 $5 super chat says we got to stop looking ahead of things. Had this series over after game 2. Also, 8 missed free throws is a joke. Can't expect to win playoff games. Yeah, you can't. Shout out Tricks of Barber, $20 super chat says missing a 6'4" guard from Villanova, last name DiVincenzo. Okay, this is Ragu's got to step up. Della Music 50 $5 super chat says, what's wrong with this? The settling for 2 instead of hoisting 3s you're not set for. I don't know if he's talking about DiVincenzo or not. $10 super chat says, chin up. Before the series, if we were told we'd be up 3 games to 2, we'd have taken it. Game 5 and 2 are offsets of each other. Now let's win it in Philly. Well, I did say Knicks in 6, right? So at the end of the day, the prediction is still alive. It's just disappointing because you're hoping that they would have won it in 5. That's a bar. What's good, Al?
Oh, brother, we're just worried about our own predictions at this point.
It feels like a weird Knicks in 6, just the trajectory.
It is a weird, it is a weird.
Because the way it was going, you felt like, forget the predictions, they have to close this in 5. And
they have to close it.
Strange the way it's going. Oh, and by the way, the NBA has announced that no matter what happens between the Bucks, Pacers, Knicks, Sixers, the next round for those teams will start on Monday.
Starts Monday. Second
night.
round starts Monday.
Which means,
okay,
technically, had the Knicks, so supposedly the Knicks, it had both teams won tonight, it would have been Saturday, which means they would have gotten 3 days rest. So now, if the Knicks are able to win Thursday, you're still going to get 3 days rest. So you get Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So there is an opportunity here again for you to close this out on Thursday.
3 days rest.
Get some nice rest. You're the home team, and the travel Philly back is nothing. You're going to get a nice full 3 days of rest, come back home to host the next round. But again, they have to do it.
So that means game 7, if necessary, would be when? Saturday? Have to be, right? Yeah, because Thursday, game 6 is Thursday, yeah. So game 7 would have to be Saturday. All right.
Wouldn't you love, CP, a nice weekend? You don't got to worry about none of this if they win Thursday. The reset on Monday, recharge the batteries. I would love that.
All right, hang on one second. Yeah, go ahead, JD. I lost audio for a second.
No, I was just saying, wouldn't you love to just have a nice weekend? You don't have to worry about this if they can win on Thursday. Reset the batteries, recalibrate.
Start
on Monday. It's set up for us.
Yeah, man.
Wait a minute, CP. This is you teaching at Summer League?
Yeah. So, I was gonna announce it at another time, but yeah, I'm gonna be teaching at Summer League, the sports business classroom. With shout out to Bobby Marks, and those guys. We're gonna be teaching at the sports business classroom at Summer League with in the media session with Howard Beck and J.A. Adonde, man.
Well, congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Me, Beck, and Adonde. We're gonna be teaching the media track. So sports business classroom is for college students that are looking for a fast track into the league. And you know, you have some league personnel and executives that are in the league right now that came up through that program, and they have different tracks. So if you're an aspiring GM, they have that track. They have operations, they have scouting and analytics, and then they have the media portion. So the media portion is going to be taught by myself, Howard Beck, and J.A. Adonde. And yeah. That's going to be it, man. So I'll be there rocking my Cuts outfit.
Adonde's an original,
is
man.
This the outfit you're going to be rocking, CP? Is this
No. I'm going to be rocking my Cuts polo and my Cuts khakis. Those kind of look like the Cuts khakis. No sweater in Vegas. See, be wilding out.
Wait, are you going to be teaching free throws? Because you're teaching free throws here.
No free throws. No free throws.
Daniel gave you the grandfather khakis. You see the ones on the hips on the side is like a little wider. That's like that's the grandpa. That's the grandfather one.
Yeah, man.
That's a substitute teacher fit. Sheesh.
That's a substitute teacher fit, man. So yeah, we're gonna be doing Summer League a little bit differently. Looking forward to it. And yeah, man, if you guys are out there, definitely pull up. I'll be there for the entire week, man, for July 14th to the 20th. So make sure if you guys are planning to come out there.
In a sweater?
No way. Not in Vegas. Not in
You
Vegas.
know, somebody in the chat just said, shout out to John. He said, at least Maxey is humble. It just got me to thinking. You imagine that was shout out to you, Maxey. At least you imagine that would have been Paul Pierce, Trae Young, like the show they would have put on after that shot. Reggie Miller, like these type of personalities where that type of shot, you know, Paul Pierce is making his rounds around like he used to do. I mean, Maxey probably is right now, as he's a 23-year-old, the perfect guy to break our hearts like that and not, you know, add more to the knife, to the heart, because he's definitely a nice young. So,
bless.
Yeah, that would have been worse.
Yeah, I love this kid's game, man. You know, I just love his game, man.
And listen, there's some people out there that was saying IQ is the next Maxey. Bro,
remember we having them debates? Yo, man, IQ could see Maxey. I was like, no, he can't. But IQ's my guy. It was never a knock on him. They're not one and the same.
They're different players.
Different players, man. They're just different players, man.
This dude's ability to shot create is different, man.
Different.
You know what's crazy? His 3-point shooting was not this lethal in college. It has just gone to a whole other level, though, in the league. Like, holy cow. The way that he's pulling up from 3 is just insane. It's as fast as how he gets to the cup.
Well, you know what makes him so tough to defend, even for Deuce, because Deuce's strength is his ability to put pressure on the basketball at the point of attack. But even Maxey is giving him, like, Deuce is not being as aggressive on Maxey in that department, because Maxey, even like, so say he drives right, he gives you a nice jab, he goes right, and you beat him to the spot. When he comes back and pulls it behind, he's going to the left. Then he's come back to the right. Like, he doesn't stop. It's not like where Brunson makes a pivot. He makes a jab step move on him, on you. If you beat Brunson, what Brunson does is he resets, dribbles 3-4 times, resets, and then, okay, now let me go into my second bag. Maxey doesn't stop. Like, he just goes into one move, the next, in the same motion. So it's hard for you to even balance yourself out as a defender and get into your proper technique and into your secondary and third positions, because Maxey doesn't give you the opportunity to do that. He doesn't reset. He just goes and goes and goes. And that's why he's so tough to defend.
And when he slides back, it's like he slides back like you're separated now 5 feet away from the guy.
Dude, he's shooting the jump shot.
Cleanest look ever, man.
Yo, his step backs are like 7 feet. They have to.
They glide. It's like a glide, bro. It's crazy, man. It is absolutely insane. I've never seen anyone's like that, man. Crazy. So, yeah, like I said, man, just give credit to him. He was great tonight. He was just great. 40. What do you have? 46 for Maxey. And he had another 40 for Brunson. 106, 112. Knicks lose. Do we have a couple more supers that we got to read? Shout out to we got a Sixer fan with a super chat. Okay, so there's no Philly fan TV. Philly Sixer fan TV. It says Maxey gonna put the Knicks on the griddle. Sixers in 7. Okay. Shout out to Jamrock. Shout out to Lord Steven Stone, franchise channel member, says I'm so disappointed. I have jury duty tomorrow. Oof. It's all right, man. Just skip it. Who cares? Shout out to Dell Music, $10 super chat. He says, JD hit the nail on the head. Philly tried hard to give us this game. We lost it in the 4th when we didn't foul Maxey before the 3, and when we didn't set up a play with 8 seconds left. Shout out to Rhyme Animal, Chuck D, man. $10 super chat. Everybody throw a hashtag PE in the chat. Team loss, mental oxygen loss. Games like this are supposed to hurt. Ouch. Killing a team off is learned experience, the price to pay. Now winning in a hostile, embarrassed city. I believe they can. Yeah, and you get them life. You get the fans life too. Maybe they will show up this time. Who knows? First Lady of Sports, $5 super chat says, I guarantee that Shake Milton can guard Maxey. Remember, he was a Sixer for many years, so he's guarding him and knows his moves, but Tibbs won't do that. I'm good with Deuce. $10 super chat from Ryan Mammal. Chuck D says, stage was big. Tibbs gambled not using Precious or Burks and lost. This is a reminder we fans can't text them into the Eastern Conference Finals. They got to do it alone. Roam down there without Knicks Nation until Game 7, if so. Also from Chuck D says, can't easily kill a team off if you never kill the team off. Remember, that's why I asked Burke, what does it take? Why is the elimination game so hard? It's hard to kill a team off, man. These players haven't done this, and we cannot include the last year that we overwhelmed the Cavs. Shout out to Ryan Manimal Talk D, man. Delusional Fraud $5 super chat says Knicks in 7, close it out in the Mecca. Let's go Knicks. Okay. Shout out to Michael R for the super chat. Christian B, franchise channel member, $10 super chat says Knicks are at their best with their backs against the wall. I recommend you wake up tomorrow and get a bacon, egg, and cheese. And once you take that first bite, you will feel a little better. Yeah, I like that, man. I think so, man. I think in a bacon, egg, and cheese, a little iced coffee, get back into the swing of things, man. Why not, man? Who else? We got I Hurt Your Fifis. Okay, $5 super chat. Interesting name. Someone needs to get the Knicks to start each game period with focus and ready to execute. Slow start should not be a regular occurrence. Okay. Shout out to Rolando Corrales again. We got a lot of super chats in here tonight. K Marco, I got that one. He says, okay. K Marco was at Sucker Punch. He says, bro, I was the first person at Sucker Punch tonight. I watched how the vibe grew from the beginning. It was electric in there tonight, but when JB threw that bad pass to iHeart, the crowd was deflated. SMH Knicks in 6. Yeah, man, mad people hit me. He said Sucker Punch was on tilt. So make sure you guys pull up on us on Thursday. I will be there. We'll definitely be there in the building and watch this thing together. So shout out to everybody that came through. That is Watch Party headquarters for KFTV for this year. Shout out Rolando Corrales again. Says we're still going to the Eastern Conference Finals. Australian $8 super chat says we ready from MK Tavs. Says we already have a guy that can score at will sitting on the bench. Boyan is out. Time to bring CP's twin back, a.k.a. Mr. Fourth Quarter. Oh, man, forget about Burks, man. Delusional Fraud, $5 super chat says Knicks in 7, close it out at the Mecca. Okay, got that. Okay, and that's that, Daniel. So remember that this show's available in audio podcast format, man. No reason to miss it. We are available on every platform. If you did miss it, hit that rewind button, man. Shout out to the replay gang, and make sure you tap into the Big Perk interview. Leave me a comment. Leave a comment among the 600. Let us know that you tapped in. Shout out to Big Perk once again for tapping in with us. Number one show for the fans by the fans. CP, JD, Alex. We are out of here. Tough loss. We'll be back for Game 6. Shout out Eric L. Beats in the chat. We out of here. Peace.